Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm dear darling, and should we see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhallow today, where we'll be relaxing as per usual. Sunday, everyone get down on Sunday. Usually I would be streaming, of course, today, but I will be busy, having a fun time, going down some, doing a bit of practicing skiing and snowboarding, I suppose, before a holiday, the week and one day after today. I don't know why I'm saying it like this, but whatever. Hello everyone, and now in Fawnhallow, it's 12:29 PM on Sunday, February 23rd, 2025. So I'll probably talk about that experience, I suppose, in tomorrow's Animal Crossing episode. It's been a long while. Well, long and depending on how long you consider long is, since I've last done skiing or snowboarding. But I used to be pretty good, at least. Well, okay, good enough to... Well, okay, I don't want to oversell myself, I don't want to undersell myself. I could definitely, like, very comfortably go down a slope. What rating slope could I go down? I've got no clue, because I've never went, like, to a ski resort. It's only been on, like, these, like, practice slope sort of areas, but still. But that's okay. We'll be chilling out anyway, having a good time, hopefully. I have heard it's like riding a bicycle, where it's something you just don't forget how to do. But to be fair, like when I hadn't ridden a bike for ages, and then I rode a bike again for the first time, I was like, what the heck am I doing? And then like it took me like 10 minutes of being like, I can't remember how to do this properly, or like it feels so weird. And then it just like, oh yeah, it clicked again, and I was like, oh yeah, wait, now I know how to do this. So I assume it's going to be a similar sort of thing here. And if it's not, then, well, so be it, I suppose. I'll just retire early and go sit in the cafe or something. But yeah, hopefully it's at least a decent time, methinks. But what are we going to talk about today? You know what I can talk a little bit about today is the fact that last night we had a fun time. We played a bit of Valorant Premiere. I was not doing that great, I'll be totally honest. And we got kind of stomped. But that's also, to be fair, like, it's not like we've been playing Valorant for that long, nor are we that coordinated as a team yet. We don't have an established, too much of an established meta in mind, except for one of our friends who is our IGL, as they say. I'm very much at the stage where I'm still just like, damn, my shooting is really terrible. And I think I exposed it even more so during the Valorant Premiere, which is essentially their clash. Where, you know, the knee-jerk reaction is when, you know, these fights being like, how are they one tap on my head? When really, I guess the reaction should be, it's like, I'm probably not taking these fights or tilting them enough in my favour. Or like, I'm like taking bad fights or whatever, such that I'm actually being punished for it in this, but I'm not being punished for it as much in ranked. Because in ranked, I feel like I did okay. I didn't do like amazingly or whatever, but I did fine. I did it to my level, but Premier was like, oh, jeez. I felt like I was being one tapped across the entire thing, and I was like, well, I literally saw you just then. How did you do that? That was incredible. But yeah, I don't know. Practice makes perfect, as they say. And am I willing to put in that much practice? No, not really. But, you know, I'm still willing to at least play the game when it comes... Well, it's still flavour of the month for us, eh? So I do think it's a fun time. Anywho. But no, what I was actually going to talk about is that afterwards, we did some late night drawing. Well, actually, we played some 8 rounds, and then we did some late night drawing, as the case is. You know, just chill out, relax, have a nice, fun time. And the late night drawing was especially amusing, I suppose, this time, because for some reason we had a focus on you. I've never seen Lily so angry. How have you become so angry, Lily? Oh, never mind. Immediately calmed you down by my presence. Look at me. This is what seeing a good friend after so long can do. What I was going to say is we did some like late night drawing. In fact, we kind of did like a drawing challenge-y sort of thing. Because for whatever reason, our drawing focus, I don't know, the conversation turned to Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm not going to retrace the exact conversational steps of how we got there. But then we did a thing where 3 of us, like, one person like described a Yu-Gi-Oh card, and then the 3 of us did our own artistic renditions of what we believe it to be. Which, you know, drawing challenges, see here and there. I've seen Drawfee do similar things before. It was interesting to do it like in our own sort of like hot seat. I can tell you the cards we drew. Like one of them was the first one. Actually, the first one was just a request from a friend. I can't remember what it was called. It was called like Humpty Dumpty or Humpty Grumpty or something. And I will say, I don't know much about Yu-Gi-Oh! And by I don't know much about Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean I know basically nothing about Yu-Gi-Oh! It was not something I ever played when I was younger. Nor did I ever know someone who played it until secondary school. And yeah, I basically have a very little concept of what it is. But why are all the Yu-Gi-Oh! Designs, like they all have very interestingly human, like surprisingly detailed, how should I say, expressions and faces? Like, I don't know how to describe it except for like they've got like an alien sort of like blobby monster and they put like the most realistic like chiseled jaw or something on it and nose, and I'm just sort of like, why does it look like this? It's horrifying in a sense. But yeah, Humpty Grumpty, no, like just look it up, Humpty Grumpty, if you don't know what I'm talking about. That was a request, and I was like, why does it look like this? I guess I've been too spoiled by the, you know, the cutesy cool designs of Pokemon. I'm not saying the Yu-Gi-Oh! Designs aren't cool. I'm just saying definitely the ones that my friends chose might have had a specific a design thematic running through them. Is perhaps how I would put it. But yeah, so I drew Humpty Grumpty was the first one. The second one was, I don't recall. What was the second one? It was Tongue Twister, that was it. Well, the description was, like, we revealed the description piece by piece. And the first part of the description was something like, whatchamacallit? A sentient tongue, which is a wild description to start off with. And then I can't remember what the next part was, like bestial fangs. What followed on from that? I can't remember, like salivating. Oh, one chicken foot. And I was just like, what on earth is going on with this description? Very wild, wacky, wonderful, I suppose. Yu-Gi-Oh! Style. Certainly, I wouldn't classify Yu-Gi-Oh! Style as something which particularly appeals to me all that much, but more power if it does appeal to you. Because I mean, I'm not you. You're free to live your life as you see fit according to the things which interest you. Anyway, we drew Tongue Twister. The second one we drew was, it was like Cloud Golem or something like that. It had like some Cloud Golem Blue Twister. I probably wrote the name down somewhere when I posted it. Oh yeah, okay. Humpty Grumpty Tongue Twister. Cloudian Eye of a Typhoon. That was it. Which was described as a blue tornado trying to smile at the camera but can't. I can't remember what other descriptors there was. And the other one was No Penguin, which is a penguin with a very smug look holding a sign, doing like wagging its finger and looking incredibly smug with a red cross on the sign. Which, to be fair, I mean, these are all pretty reasonable descriptions, but of course, like, obviously they're minimal to allow room for artistic interpretation. The goal here wasn't so much legitimate accuracy as it was like, let's just see what happens from the same prompt. Honestly, it was pretty fun. And then the last one we drew was like a Ojama match, which is insane. It was like 4 different Ojamas. And Ojama, as I understand it, is just, I don't really know what they are. They're like little goblin creatures or something in Yu-Gi-Oh! They're all very interesting, I suppose, in their own right, visually. And it was like a boxing match between, what was it, Armed Dragon 5th, I don't know, generation? Is that what it's called? I can't remember. And there was like another Ojama being a referee, one of them being beaten up, and one was like a coach on the sidelines. It was just weird, is what I say. I mean, the card itself was weird. The actual drawing experience was quite fun. But yeah, and it all sparked from ages ago when not ages ago. Well, technically ages ago. My friend wanted me to draw. I can't even remember what the Yu-Gi-Oh card is called, but it's like a kangaroo boxer or something. When I was taking some random requests for like late night doodles or whatever, that was what he requested. And then he was like, "Dear darling, when are you gonna draw me that Yu-Gi-Oh character?" And I was like, "I already did that like years ago for you." He didn't remember. That's the power of a fan art. To forget immediately as upon receiving it. But yeah, I don't know where I was going with this. I don't really know how Yu-Gi-Oh particularly works. All I know is how Yu-Gi-Oh works, like on a card game, is like there's a back and forth. No, but there's like, isn't there like 7 phases or something per turn? I know there's attack position, defense position. I feel like my cousin tried to teach me how to play Yu-Gi-Oh once, and I just like didn't get it. Like we were building a deck or whatever, and I just chose, no joke, I just chose all the cute looking like little Yu-Gi-Oh monsters. I remember one was like just like a little bundle of puffballs or something. I can't remember. As attack positions, defense positions. What does that mean? I don't know. I guess you can only attack in attack position. You can only defend in defend position. Don't quote me on that. You attack their life points directly, or you can, maybe? I don't know. Pot of Greed allows you to draw 2 additional cards. Exodia. But no, my grandpa's deck has no pathetic cards. These are just the memes. This is not describing actually how Yu-Gi-Oh is played. I mean, I assume it's like... yeah, it shares a lot of similarities with usual sort of TCG style... well, style was the wrong word, but TCG mechanics where you sort of attack monsters. When there's no monsters, you can attack the hit points of the player. And whoever reaches 0 first loses. There's probably like other decks you can play. I assume there's a mill deck which you can do. I'm trying to think what else I even know about Yu-Gi-Oh. I think there's different monster types. and wait, there's like little star ratings or something in the top right of the cards. Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh. I'm like trying to imagine a Yu-Gi-Oh card off the top of my head. I don't know what this. I guess the star ratings just mean rarity. I don't know if it's like a cost. I don't know if there is a cost to play cards. Oh wait, I think that might be one of the things that Yu-Gi-Oh, but there isn't a cost or whatever. what? I would have thought this would be more entertaining trying to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh, but there's actually not much I know. Blue Eyes White Dragon. Because I will be honest, Yu-Gi-Oh, well, cards, actually trading cards in general, did not take off in our primary school. Mainly because like all toys were essentially banned from being brought in, apart from things like, you know, like jump rope and I don't know what else was allowed to be brought in. Jump rope, you know, like when Tamagotchis were a big craze, they were like immediately banned. Like people brought them in and they were like, no, you're not allowed them. Which seems insane to me, seeing as the times that we actually played them while on the playground. You know, people, if they're playing them in class, you know, confiscate them as per usual, but I guess it's like a liability of them being destroyed or something, but I don't know. Is there like an unwritten rule? Like kids bringing in toys are responsible for their own toys? I don't know. Anyway, we weren't allowed to bring playing like trading cards in. Except for, on the last day of each term, we're allowed to bring games and toys in. And I remember people bringing in the Doctor Who trading card game at one point. And me getting so many of those cards on the Doctor Who trading card game, which apparently is a game you can actually play, but no one ever played. People just collected them. So yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh never took off. I played a bit of like the Pokemon card game, but that's from my own volition, rather than because my friends played it. So yeah, I don't know. Trading card games just weren't really a thing for our school. You might be like, is that a sad thing? Do you find remorse within that? I feel rather indifferent, I suppose, to the entire thing. So all my exposure is like secondhand via my friend who knows about Yu-Gi-Oh. I remember going to his house once on his birthday and trying to play like a Yu-Gi-Oh game on the DS, except for obviously I did not have any conception of what the rules were for Yu-Gi-Oh. So I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm pretty sure I lost. But that's genuinely the only recollection I have towards that. But yeah. What else can I say about Yu-Gi-Oh? There really isn't much. And by much as I mean there is nada. There is nothing else which I can really say. Which is a bit of a shame. Do I think Yu-Gi-Oh is cool? I think it's alright. I don't have anything against it. I don't think anything particularly for it either. I never watched the anime either. I was always much of a Pokemon girly. Yeah. What else can I say about it? It's gonna be the most disappointing thing about Yu-Gi-Oh! My friends are gonna see this title and be like, whoa, she's talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! And then they realise I don't know anything about Yu-Gi-Oh! But I guess I'll title it probably Drawing Challenge or something instead. I'll talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! Some other time. But the Drawing Challenge is very sort of fun. Drawing from a random prompt. It's a nice test of artistic capabilities, imagination, ideation is perhaps a better way to put it. And it ends up being quite fun as well because it's like, you know, you're drawing quite fast and loose. You know, same way that sort of Gartic Phone does it. I guess this way might be a bit more favourable to people because certainly there is a bit of an awkwardness while playing something like Gartic Phone when you don't know how to draw. When you're in a mixed sort of group, you might say it doesn't matter, like surely it's just there for fun, but for a lot of people, you know, it does sort of matter because I mean, obviously, if they liked drawing, they would have taken it up as a hobby. If they don't like drawing, then playing a whole game based around it is probably not as fun. Huh? That's just kind of how it goes with most things. Sadly, is that we all have different likes and well, actually, it's not a sad thing that we all have different likes and interests. I think that's a pretty good thing, to be honest. But it's like a fun way, I suppose, to still engage with it on the same level. Because coming up with prompts, I think, is a lot funnier. And seeing people just sort of like artistically render them in one way or another. I'm not putting myself on the same level as, you know, people like Drawfee. Or I don't know who else do these sort of gaming challenges. Presumably a lot of people do. I'm not going to try and deign to put myself on the same level, but at least we can have our own sort of homemade version. Because a lot of them are pretty good. Like, I spoke about it before, like, this artist, Naoki Sensei, I think his name is, who has done videos of him drawing, like, characters, like, from Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail or something, with just from a description, or, like, just on their voice. And he's obviously very familiar with sort of East Asian media's properties, and knows what sort of tropes that they might play into, and what they might not. And I think it's a fascinating sort of video to see his own perspective. And like him reading the character description and being like, yes, I know exactly what this character is going for. Now we just got to figure out the sort of elements in it. Yeah. Having our own homemade version is definitely a lot of fun as well. I mean, late night little drawing sessions are always quite a bit of fun, I think. And it's something I do reasonably commonly, at least on the weekend. Less so during the actual weekday itself. Sometimes. But yeah, I don't know, drawing challenge. Drawing from a prompt. I don't know what I'll title this episode, but it'll be something along those lines. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to round this episode off here. So if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons, and I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope to see each other again, but for now, it's our farewell. So until next time. Oh, what the heck. Bye-bye for now.